If you have not been following, please do it to turn on notification and subscribe to the channel so that whenever I make a new video, you'll also be there to see it. These are images I shot long ago. I know right now I might not be shooting images like this, but it's very important that I show you this so that you can use it for future purpose. If you have your image that you shot and every other part is sharp except the face, or there is a part of the face you want to sharpen, this class is for you. And also I've created a texture for you that you are supposed to use so that it will not be stressing you, which I'm going to be giving on this video. But first, let me show you how this is done. You create an empty layout, then you hold down Shift F5. Make sure you change it to 50% gray. When you do that, you get this. This is the same thing that we normally just add, then go to high pass filter and try to sharpen our image. If you have been following the whole process of trying to make your image look better, this is what a lot of persons will do, but we are not going to be doing that. We're going to turn this to a smart object. Once you turn it into a smart object, you get this. Now, the reason why we are turning it into a smart object is because we might want to come back and do some changes. If you don't do that, everything will be applied to the image and you will not be able to undo it. But with smart objects, you can just work on everything separately. So we'll just go to camera raw and pick a camera raw filter. Then from here, if you have been using if you're using the older part of Photoshop, you might not see a lot of these things because this is the latest one and there are some arrangement that has been done, but that shouldn't be the problem. We'll find our way around it. So first of all, I'll go to effect. From effect, I'm going to increase the grain. If you look at our screen here, this is how it was. I'll increase it. I just keep it around 85. Clarity will not do anything here. Texture will not really do much as you think. So we just go to details instead. Then from details here, you can see if we can just add a little bit of sharpness. And I think a lot of other things that were supposed to help here has been removed. But the few that we have done is also going to make it work well for us. So we have that. So we are going to move next. The next thing we want to do is to move back to Photoshop where we do the rest of the applying. So we say okay. Once you say okay, it will load it like this. Now right here is just looking like the normal everyday noise. But how do we make this look like a texture? That's where we're going. So the next thing we want to do is just come here, come to stylize, emboss. Now what you're seeing here is my settings. The light is coming from this angle, so if my light was to be coming from this side, I was going to be pointing this way. But since my light is coming from this angle, let me just add it like this. Keep it like this. So once that's done, you can increase this, you can reduce it, you can increase it to your likeness, but I don't feel increasing it too much is also good, so I'm going to keep it around here. This is something that you can come back once you say okay. It's not like you cannot change it again. You can still come back. Look at it here. You can still come back and increase it to your choice. Sorry, supposed to click here instead. You can still come back and reduce it or increase it. So let me just keep it around here. I think this is fine for me. Then I'll say okay. Remember, this is how our image was. Now this is how it is. So it looks like we are getting a lot of details back. So the next thing we want to do is just to add a little bit of blur to the image. Make sure your blur is not too much. Make sure it's somewhere around 0.7 is fine. 0.7 is fine. Then this is exactly how it is. But sometimes I normally just add curve. So that I can give the texture a little bit of detail. So I'll just clip this to what you're doing here. so it will just maybe just give it more details. Then now I will just hold down my Alt and click on the mask, so that will help me invert it. Once it's inverted, I can now paint back those texture. Now the reason why I'm doing that is to make sure I don't paint the texture into areas that already have textures. I just want to paint it into these areas. So my brush is here, my settings, these are my settings on my brush. I'm going to be painting with a white brush, so I'm just going to paint it in. So like I said before, if after doing it you feel like it's too much, it's a non-destructive method that we're using. If you feel like it's too much, you can go back. Is that you are increasing your blur, you can increase your blur, or you can just go back to the emboss and just maybe reduce the level of the texture. Let's keep it around 71. You can just keep it like this. So you have moved from before and after, before and after. Now this curve, these levels that I added here is what is keeping those extra depth there. So if I remove this, you see that the image is just bright like that. But with this, everybody has their own method that works, but this is how you bring texture back to image where there is no texture. I think now it's looking better than the way it was. Let's just group this, group it, and see. Look at how it is now and how it was, how it is now. So this video, I hope this video was helpful. I hope this video taught you something. I hope you learned something from this video. So it's important that you just put this in your head. Probably remind me to send you the texture if I don't put it, so that you will not be going through all this process to create what I've just created for you. This method has been working for me, and I just hope this method also work for you. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.